So as a startup, you're probably working on something that's new. You're probably working on a problem that has possibly been attempted but not solved before. And so you're probably trying to introduce something that's different and distinct in the marketplace that's never been done before. All of these characteristics lend themselves to patent protection. Patents are a really useful tool for a number of reasons for startups. One reason and one thing to keep in mind is that patents, if you're able to obtain one, will allow you to exclude others from making and using your claimed invention. Another really good reason why you might consider getting a patent as a startup is because if you're seeking to raise money, having patents might appeal and might be very attractive to certain types of investors. Some investors care greatly. The ones that do care are going to ask you a lot of questions. For example, did you consider obtaining patents? Did you seek counsel? Did you do any prior art searching? Did you take any steps to meaningfully protect your inventions with patents? So being able to at least answer these questions, even if the decision was made not to pursue patents, is a really valuable and important asset as you develop your business, because you want to be able to justify to investors why you didn't or why you did pursue patent protection. Now, if you did pursue patent protection and you're dealing with an investor that does care about patents, then they're going to be a lot more confident in investing their money, because they're going to know that here's this startup company that takes intellectual property very seriously and decided to invest early capital in procuring patents. This will also help as you pitch to investors, because in doing an analysis, a patentability analysis, you're going to have to look at the prior art and what your invention is and how it's different. And so in that difference, you're going to be able to further clarify what it is your value add is. You're going to be able to further explain to investors why your approach is different and worthy of capital investment. And of course, lastly, some investors might care deeply about patents because ultimately, if you're actually able to obtain one or more, then you can possibly exclude competitors for the life of the patents. And so that is, of course, a huge value proposition that will land heavy with certain investors that care a lot about patents. Another really key and valuable aspect that patents will introduce to a startup, especially in the early stages, is confidence of customers. So when you put your goods or services out in the marketplace, you're going to have to actually generate sales in order to have a thriving business. And if you don't have the sales model, you at least need users, fundamentally. Now, users or customers are going to be a lot more confident in using or purchasing your goods or services if they know that there's an actual patent pending or patent behind the underlying innovation. So if they're buying a product or service that has a pending patent, for example, let's say you file a provisional, you can say you're patent pending, they're going to know that when they go and buy your product. And so it's going to give them even more confidence in you, because not only do they know that you're investing, that you're taking the business seriously, but they know that there might also actually be something, an innovation there that's going to be eventually recognized, or perhaps if you're able to get the patent, already was recognized by the United States Patent and Trademark Office. So there's a lot of inherent value that's built by having patents, and it shows to the world, it shows to customers, both consumers and businesses alike, that you're taking your intellectual property seriously and that you're actually taking steps to develop and protect what you believe, what the company believes is new, and what is being introduced into the marketplace is an innovation. It's also possible for you to actually generate revenue from patents. So if you're able to obtain a patent that has value where a possible competitor, say, is infringing upon your patent, then you can try to seek royalties. So you can actually try to generate revenue based on sales by that other company. So your competitor, for example, let's say they sell X amount of product. If you're able to obtain some sort of licensing revenue, then they would have to pay you a certain percentage of those sales, depending, of course, on the terms that you're able to reach with your competitor. But again, it's important to understand that patents can actually be a source of revenue generation for your company. Another aspect that's really important to remember is that patents are assets. And so you can actually use patents in borrowing money, so they can serve as a security basis for a security interest, so that lenders that loan you money can take a security interest in your patent. So there's a lot of inherent value in just even having a pending patent application. Another setting that makes patents really valuable for companies and early startups is acquisitions. So when a company is looking to acquire your company, what they ideally, not only would they like to see a good product, but they would also like to see their investment being protected with intellectual property. So they'll have a lot more confidence if they're going in making an offer to purchase your company if they know that the technology that they're buying is actually covered and protected by a patent. Now, the obvious reason is because if they're going to make a capital investment and actually purchase your technology, then they want to know that it's actually protected. Otherwise, their competitors can just go off and copy and present the same technology. So again, patents are really attractive and appealing to acquiring companies. Obtaining counsel to help you obtain patents is a really good idea, especially as a startup company, because patent attorneys will be able to help you frame your thinking around the problem solution approach. So they'll be able to help you crystallize the problem, understand what was done before, so how other people approached a problem, and the shortcomings with those approaches and those prior existing solutions. And then in the second inquiry, the patent attorney will be able to help you crystallize what is new about your technology. So where the innovation is in terms of how it's different, how it departs from what's the quote unquote prior art. So how it departs from prior solutions. And providing a crystal clear explanation of what is new is going to help you not just in obtaining patents, but also in having discussions with customers, potential partners, and investors. Now, having a patent attorney, of course, is also going to help you make sure that you're taking all the steps to correctly protect your innovations, right? Because it's really important that you secure a filing date as early as possible, because by securing a filing date, you're going to not have to be as concerned with prior art that might make your invention unpatentable. So the earlier filing date you can get, the better. Every day that you don't file is a day that more prior art is introduced into the world that can be used to preclude you from being able to obtain a patent. So a patent attorney can help guide you through all these nuances of patent law, help you draft claims that are valuable, that will help you differentiate yourself in the marketplace, and hopefully ultimately help you obtain patent rights. Now, it's important to remember that some companies, some early startups, decide early not to file patents, and that's because obtaining patents on software can sometimes be challenging. Sometimes the patent office will reject your claims as being directed to an abstract idea or unpatentable subject matter. Essentially, the issue revolves around using generic computing devices to perform general, routine, conventional activity, such as organizing human activity is one example. Now, the problem with these rejections is that they can be difficult to overcome. Now, the reason why I'm saying all this is not to dissuade you from seriously considering filing patents, but just so that you understand that some companies deliberately make the conscious choice not to spend any capital on procuring patents because of the challenges that they might face down the line. Now, remember, it's all about trade-offs. So capital that you spend on patents is capital that you could be spending on engineering, product development, or marketing purposes. And so it's an important consideration. But it's important to keep in mind that you be deliberate in your thinking and in your analysis. So if the decision not to pursue patent filing was made, then you should really document that and understand why, so that you're prepared to explain to others why you made that choice. Please remember that you should definitely seek counsel, and you should really consider hiring a patent professional anytime you're dealing with patents, because the law is very complex and there are a lot of tricky issues that might arise. Hopefully you guys found this video useful. Again, obtaining patents for your startup, especially at the early stages, can be incredibly valuable. It's a really good idea because it'll be valued by customers, by potential partners, by investors, and it can ultimately also generate revenue for your company and help you in the marketplace by excluding your competitors.